They'll be calling me royalty.
Hello there, ladies and gents. Welcome to season 11 of IRC. We're here for our first round of this season at Albert Park. Of course, I'm joined here by SD. SD, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Really excited to bring another season of Formula One League racing for our community, a lovely community here. And yeah, it's time to get rolling again. Do you think,
Yeah,
Happy?
again, it's season 11. It's one step above season 10. And again, season 10 for us was a success. I'm pretty sure we're going to have another good season here at IRC. And we're going to start it with, of course, giving a bit of a throwback to 2018, 2019, where we had Australia as a season opener. And I think it's always good to come back here, to Australia. It's always a good track, a fun track to start the season with. Don't you agree?
Yes, definitely. I think Bayern, of course, is one of my favorite tracks, and it's really good to see the wheel-to-wheel action as is one of the really good circuits to overtake and have good close racing. But Australia has its own sets of issues, sets of challenging corners that these drivers need to perform, and qualifying is going to be really important here, don't you think?
Yeah, I think qualifying is going to be super important, especially with those curves. These curves here in Australia are killer. Basically, if you mount it too much, you're going to lose your car and you're going to end up in a wall.
Yep.
And again, let's just go forward with the track guide then.
Yep, definitely. So today we are going to start off the season at Melbourne Albert Park circuit, where there's going to be more than 20 turns, 4 DRS zone, as unless this game is not correctly stating it, but there can be 4 DRS zones and 14 turns. Sorry, maybe wrong, but yeah, it's gonna be one of the tracks where it's going to be a lot of not say less opportunities to overtake, but it's going to be a lot of chances for some hail mary, some bigger dive bombs. So yeah, it's going to be one interesting race to look forward to.
Definitely, and I think those new changes that were introduced, especially towards the DRS zones, we'll see them play some effect into this game. So let's see what we're into, because as we know, more racing in 2023 has become more closer. The physics are a little bit easier to handle now, especially with traction and, let's say, corner control. So we're definitely going to see that play a part in closer racing, better racing for this season.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as attraction importance of traction control is a bit lower on this game. As I said, the traction is much easier. But again, we know Codemasters, there are a lot of glitches still
Yeah.
prevailing on this game. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be coming out on top on the first round, that is around Australia and Albert Park circuit. As I think the drivers are ready, so let's hop on to the session.
Perfect.
Yep. Looks okay. On the first glance, it looks quite, what do you say, cloudy. May rain. Unfortunately, the telemetry is not available for first round. We'll definitely try our best to get it up and running before the next round. But yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
it may rain.
it does look like it's overcast, right? A little.
Yeah,
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 definitely.
yeah. There is a small opportunity, I think, for drivers to for the drivers who are not maybe having the pace around here to make some gains during the chain mix conditions. But yeah, so let's start off the stream with first introducing you guys the grid for this season. You wanna take us through the grid, Haphazard, while I just
Yeah,
move
of course,
between the
of course.
drivers?
Yeah, of course. So we're going to start with Mercedes, and we're going to start with Mercedes, of course, has Red and Archit in here. And again, this is a fantastic combo. I think Red and Archit will definitely complement each other in that beautiful Mercedes Benz, AMG team essentially. And again, we're going to have that legendary Black Livery back again in this season. So we're going to have some fun with that team. Moving on towards Red Bull, we have Faizan and King James. Again, Faizan still a veteran of Tier 1 now. Essentially, we've seen what he can do. It's a great, fantastic driver. Can sometimes even challenge for podiums as well. And followed by King James, who we have seen previously have some pace as well. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think Faizan again given an opportunity to race in Tier 1, show us his little over the top or little aggressive racing that he follows. But again, anything within the rules, and if he keeps it nose clean, he's a very good challenger for the top 3 this season.
Definitely. Followed by my favorite team and almost everyone's favorite team. Everyone's a Ferrari fan. Going towards Ferrari, we have Sai and Ritesh. Definitely. Sai, of course, Sai Tarun is one hell of a driver. I think we have seen some magic moments by Sai. He's been here for a while now. And Ritesh, again a standard great midfield driver, Ritesh. He always is there challenging for the points, getting some important points on those weekends where it matters for the constructors. And that's what we have for Ferrari, of course, the legendary Scuderia, and we'll see what they have in store for this season 11. Moving on to the team in Papaya, McLaren, with Moto and SimplyYT. Again, another good challenger team. I think this is a good team that, of course, we might see some synergy popping up from them because it's Moto who we know is pretty quick on his day, and he can challenge for pole, he can challenge for the win, followed by Simply, who is again another good driver on the grid itself. He has at times challenged for points and podiums, so we'll love to see what he can do. As we see the McLaren spin out, commentators curse.
He's definitely, I think you're talking a little bit of well-wishing about Simply, and Simply decides to give us a beautiful pirouette there. But yeah, Simply, of course, another driver to look forward to. But I think it's gonna be a little bit of challenge for him, given that there's gonna be a club of 10 drivers who are gonna be up for the WTC this season. So yeah, that's if he doesn't,
definitely.
if he keeps on not doing that pirouettes, of course he's going to be much better for him.
Of course, I can rely on Simply to not pirouette, as you saw right now. Moving quickly past that pirouette to Alpine. And we have, again, Dipanshu and Dark Knight. Dipanshu, we don't need to say too much about him. He's definitely an entertaining part of the grid and a good driver as well at the same time. Followed by Dark Knight. Again, Dark Knight, we've seen him before. A solid driver who's going to be a solid part of the midfield. Going to challenge for points. Going to give us some fun overtakes, some dive bombs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just a small addition to that. Sorry to cut you off, Hapsa, but yeah. So Shubkumar is part of this team as a permanent driver. Dark Knight is stepping in today to score some valuable championship points for them. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how that pairing goes, since Shubkumar, we know, is a very fast driver, but a little bit of questionable in terms of the race strategies and race pace, if I may say so. But yeah, Dipanshu, again, consistent, tries to keep it clean when he does race. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pairing goes through the season.
I think it's going to be, the most beautiful pairing of Jackal and Hyde. I think that's what I can think of here. But yeah, let's see what happens with that. And let's move on to Alpha Tauri. Again, we're going to go through Akash Sonamanovic. I know Akash definitely has pace here. We've seen him challenge before as well in tiers 2 and 1 as well. Then we have Dante Adams, which I've not heard of too much. I think he's a new driver here,
No,
SD.
no, I think it's his second or third season, if I may recollect. He has been relishing in the lower tiers, performing really well, trying to keep consistent performances. And yeah, it's got a call up in tier 1, which is a really proud moment for him, I would assume. And
Yeah.
he's definitely going to be up among the very fast folks here. Let's see if he can keep his run going.
Definitely, and I think that's good to see someone from tier 2 always jump up to tier 1. It's always good to see improvements in our lower tiers, and it gives us a chance to, come up to tier 1 and challenge the best. Then we have Aston Martin with Assassin and Caddy, so SSD Assassin. Basically, another fine pairing, two top-notch drivers. I think this is one of the stronger team pairings, if I'm not wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, two controller drivers on one team. I mean, SSJ, we know, blistering place, probably the fastest around here on this game. Some may call that he's hacking. That the jury is still out for that. But yeah, so and Catty, of course, really consistent. I mean, a lifelong Red Bull driver in our community, but he has been assigned or randomly assigned the Aston Martin this season. So yeah, a good team
Come on.
dynamic. A good team
Aston
dynamic.
Martin,
Yeah.
second Red Bull SD. You're making the connections, right?
Yes, definitely. I think it's a bit of more than just copying the designs here. But yeah, so really great pairing. One to look out for. But again, we have, I mean, the teams have been made given so that multiple teams can compete for the WCC. So yeah, this is definitely one of the teams I'll put my bets on.
Definitely. Next, moving on. As I said about strong pairing, we're moving on to Williams, which has by far the strongest Tanish and Helium. Now, we have seen what Helium can do from time to time. He's always the one to challenge for pole, challenge for the win. He's very quick in Tier 1 itself. He has proven his speed, and another awesome driver, Tanish, who again has been challenging in the past for podiums as well. Again, a strong pairing here with the Williams team. Moving on to, sorry, you were saying something?
Yeah, I mean the defending champion. That's one statement itself is enough to describe what Helium and how Helium is going to perform this season. Absolutely, like you can say, battered the field last year with just having more than 50 points lead going into the last couple of rounds. So yeah, I mean if he keeps the same amount of consistency, same pace throughout this new game that we are having the first season on F123. Can he translate those skills from the last game to this game? That's one to watch. But yeah, again, Tanish returning after a hiatus of more than a couple of seasons. Again, I would say the second fastest driver after Mara in this league. That's a very bold statement to say, but if he can keep his consistency, if he can keep, let's say, improve on his consistency and not, let's say, bin it when he's in a very commanding position. Again, Helium, of course, will get the points. If Tanish can keep him near his tabs or keep him on his tabs, it's going to be another WCC for Helium and let's say Tanish.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if Tanish can even challenge Helium for that WDC. We'll see later on in the season. We have Alfa Romeo next, Extreme and Destroyer Drag. Again, a solid midfield team here with Extreme sort of taking the lead and Destroyer Drag also definitely supporting him in that role. And then we move quickly towards Haas. We have Mohan and Lean Sipper. Again, I've seen Mohan and Lean Sipper race before. Don't know much about him. I saw last season Mohan was in the Red Bull, and he was definitely the second support driver towards Catty, I believe,
Oh
in that
my!
role.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we got wiped out. Yeah, someone got wiped out.
I am sorry. Just talking about Tanish there, but what just happened?
Who? I think Lean Sipper got some crit penalties as well, and
Yes, this is because he was rear-ended by Tanish there. I'm not sure what happened between the two. The pace difference seemed to be really, really high with the Slinsipper going really slow through the straight there, but Tanish coming full guns blazing for that. I mean, it's one to look out for in the replays or in the reports, which of course I'm pretty sure there's gonna be. Yeah, so let's quickly move on from that
yikes.
incident and
Yeah, I mean, I think we have covered all the drivers, to be honest.
yeah.
And
Just
yeah,
one thing on Lean
mhm.
Zipper. I mean, he has been again one like a couple of drivers we have been mentioned before. He's again relishing in the lower tiers and getting his call up for tier 1. Yeah, currently he's put on a lap time of 17.8, which is enough for in the top 5. So maybe it is time for him to show what he's really made of.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see Helium on provisional pole right now with a 117 to 15. Basically, I think if I'm not wrong, Steve, we can start seeing someone by the end of it push it to 116. Do you think that's possible? 116?
Just as you say that, he gets beaten by Moto with a 17-1. I think yes, 16, it's possible. It's one of the milestones that these guys can reach and definitely go under the time. But yeah, 16.8, 16.7, I'm expecting the pole lap to be, given that the tires and the track do get like rubbered in really quickly at the end.
Hopefully it does get rubbered in, but again, it's still cloudy, so I wonder if that's gonna have a play in the race itself. I hope it is, because mixed condition makes the race 10 times better at least. And as we're on board, Akash Sonawale, you want to take over with this Akash Sonawale lap?
Yeah, I mean, going into the quick turn 9-10, he has a lot of traffic in front of him. That's definitely going to cost him a little bit. Is the Alpine going to be going off the racing line? No, he does not. Very, very interested to see how that's going to affect his lap time. But yeah, it looks like he is on track to set a top 10 lap. But the Ferrari does get out of the way. Going into the last couple of corners, very, very tricky to get the car stopped here and try to go as left as possible to open up the final corner. Very, very early on the throttle there and opens up the DRS using all the battery that's allowed to use on that lap, and he goes 10th with a time of 18.1. Decent enough,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm pretty
think
sure he'll be looking to improve that to a mid 17.
yeah. Yeah, definitely, because I think he lost a lot of time behind that Alpine. The Alpine definitely is gonna get a report at this stage because that was impeding, to be honest. And at that point, Akash did have to overtake the Alpine to get ahead of it. But yeah, we'll see what happens later on with that messy part of the circuit. That part of the circuit is always messy. Turns 10 towards 12. It's always messy in qualifying, and that can happen. Again, same place where we saw Tanish and James collide, I think.
That's very, very
As we
wide
see,
from SSJ.
damn. Yeah, how? Okay, I think that was an invalidation. He had to let that go away, I guess. What is happening in this part of the track?
Not sure exactly what those two are doing. Who was it?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. Probably it was Extreme and Dan who were trying to probably make way. Both have
And I think
invalidated
it
their
was
lap. Both are invalidated their lap. So yeah, I think.
yeah. I'm not sure because I think you're right. Both must have invalidated the lap, but I think they're both heading into the pits because I don't think Dan's got enough. Okay, he is going for the lap here. Dan is gonna make it work with 76% ERS, and he's definitely pushing it towards turn one. Again, with turn one, you wanna just kiss the inside apex with fourth gear and just throttle out, get the maximum traction as much as you can. Again, you can see him fighting the car a little bit here. Again, maximize to a 7. Again, kiss the inside curb, maximize on the outside, and hit the throttle at this stage. Wait for the black box. Put essentially, he wants to again. Oh, but he's missing all the apexes there. It's not looking great for Dan here. As I'm not sure this is as fast as he wants to go, or I'm pretty sure he's trying to get into the pits at this stage. How many minutes do we have left for this session?
I think this the yellow flag is really taking. I think it's 4.5 minutes, and Dan has made a hash of that lap yet again. I think he has time to do one more run, which I think is enough.
Yeah, definitely. He has to go into the pits right now for his last run and sort of come out. That's a smart decision because that lap wasn't looking like a Dan lap, to be honest. Dan is one hell of a qualifier, and I expect him to be up in P2, P1, P3 at least. And we have again Extreme getting in as well. Another driver who decided to stay out after that mess in turn 10 and 11 and now deciding to pit essentially. Oh, and the Ferrari almost losing it towards the rears. Going super quick towards the turns. I think Sai Tarun is definitely trying to pack something but misses the apex completely. Tries to save it by getting on the throttle as quickly as possible. Has to keep it clean for the last few corners. Again, this is the worst corner of the race, and of course he loses his rears and decides to go into the pits. I wonder if he was on a fast lap or if he invalidated at some stage. Again, a lot of invalidation here. Again, the nature of Australia is invalidation, to be honest. Sisti, what do you think of it?
Yeah. I mean, it's very easy to invalidate going into turn 1 itself, as you just go on top of the go on top of the curb in the turn 1, and then that immediately sets your car to go wide into turn 2. So that's four wheels off, and you have lost a lap there, which is very, very detrimental for you to set a lap at the end of the session.
Again, we're seeing Moto. I think we're definitely on a hot lap. It does feel like a hot lap at this stage, though, as we see him deactivating, but it's not a hot lap. His ERS is completely up. I think he's getting ready for his lap right now. And we're on board Helium, who is, I believe, on a lap. Yep, he is. He's definitely finishing his hot lap very quickly. I don't think he's interested in another lap. I think he wants to avoid traffic at this stage, and that's why he's opting for it right now. As you have cautions in Sector 1, I believe someone must be slowing down there. And we see Helium again, DRS out, has to nail these two corners perfectly, has to mount the curb as well, and he's off the track and validates it completely, and that's it. Can he save enough ERS for another round?
I think he has time to go around a couple of more laps. It's the fuel that matters for him. And I think it's already
Oh yeah,
flashing red,
true.
so I think that's it for him.
Yeah, it's done. It's
But
done for Helium. He's in P2 and Moto has got provisional pole here. Quite saddening, but one mistake and you're off the track here, and that's just the nature of Formula One at this stage. As we're on board Moto, who's again on his lap here, hopefully very, very close to invalidation there. But again, it's all the difference between invalidation and a perfect lap is just mere inches at this stage. As he goes around
purple
turns,
sector 1. That's one
yep,
sector done.
definitely. And definitely we see him blazing that speed record. He's definitely looking to set that pole position up to improve on his time. Again, turn it beautifully, try to cut the corner a little. He's playing it very safe. He doesn't want to make the same mistake that Helium did. And he's again approaching the last few corners, sector 2 done a while back. Yep. Oh, and he's invalidated it almost. I'm not sure.
He hasn't.
I
He
think he
hasn't.
has.
No, he hasn't.
He
No, he hasn't.
hasn't.
He hasn't.
Well, that's
Yes.
very close there.
It's
But
prob.
there's another Ferrari. He's going to get some split stream from the Ferrari to finish up his lap as he gets around the final corner, gets the DRS up, and it is P1 with a 117.037. Very close to 116s, but that's the time to beat, folks. 117.037. Who can beat it? Who's got the pace to finish up the lap closer to Moto here as we're on board Pro P right now. Again, Pro P fighting the car, definitely pushing it. You
Its
can
lap
see
is
him
done.
on.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. His lap is done.
yeesh. I just saw it at the very end. Yeah, that lap is invalidated. Definitely was pushing for it though. And that's the Sauber of Destroyer Drac. Again, I didn't see that coming. Destroyer Drac is definitely in a good position right now. It's in P4 at this stage. Definitely a surprise from this kick Formula One team at this stage. I wonder what they're going to change their name to next because Stake would not work in Switzerland for some reason.
Yeah, really, really surprised to see him still keeping his P2, P4. But yeah, 17.5, really respectable lap time as Extreme
Yeah,
has
yeah.
crashed. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but yeah. So folks, that's the end of quali. Whatever lap these guys are on, that's the final lap, and it looks like um, Moto is gonna
I
keep his 4
think,
unless Track has something to say about that. Still keeping
let's
all
see.
4 wheels within the track. Um,
Let's see.
Never mind.
Oh, he's going in the pits. Yeah,
Never mind.
it's still good enough. It's still a good position to be in. And your first few races, P4 is not bad. But I think that's it. I don't think anyone else can compete for
Um,
P1
I just
unless
noticed it is raining.
at the
Yep.
end. Yes, of course. Typical F1 to rain at the end of qualifying. I hope that still continues towards the race, but we'll see. I assume the race will be completely drenched out and now just see it being completely hot and dry.
Yep, that
But
folks, I think it is the end of quali. Unless
let's
someone wants to do a Leclerc and stay out and try to put a lap time at the end, and never mind.
no, no, that's right. That's it. That's the end of it. I think everyone's got their work cut out, and as we see, simply getting P15 for the time being. Not a great look for McLaren P1 and P15, but hopefully he can get some more points. Get some points by the end of it. As we see, Lean Sleeper again getting that 5 place grid penalty. Damn, that's gonna cost him a lot in P7. And yeah, folks, that's what we have here. Moto in P1, Helium in P2, and Pro P in P3, essentially, followed by Destroyer Track and Assassin. But essentially a good format here. We of course seen who's got the pace here, and I think Helium definitely has that raw pace. Surprisingly, Catty's in P14. I didn't see that coming. And we saw the incident between Tanish and King James, so that's there to be honest. But yeah, interestingly, as I was mentioning, Helium definitely has that raw pace to challenge for P1. I think Moto right now is more focused about his race start because he wants to make sure that Helium is at least behind him for that first few corners because those will be very, very important for him to maintain his P1. Keeping that car, making a gap at the first few laps, keeping a DRS away from Helium. Because as soon as Helium gets DRS, he's going to start attacking, and Moto is aware about that very well.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be very important that Moto keeps his nose ahead going into turn one. Otherwise, we know Helium. He's aggressive. He's within the limits,
Yeah.
but he's aggressive, and he will not take a second invitation for him to put his nose ahead. But yeah, interesting grid. Expecting. Was it Drac in P4? Not exactly aware, but
Yeah,
whether Alpha was in P4, that I mean, really clutch performance from him.
Definitely. I think they're gonna need some clutch performance like that. Sauber definitely they need to start pushing because they need those construction points. And these important races, the first few races that we have, it's quite unpredictable what the format might be because everyone's still getting in the groove of the season. Again, it's our first season in the 2023 game. Everyone is not used to those physics yet. They're still trying to learn and evolve with the games as well, and that's what we'll see. Some of these interesting moments shine through i- in F1 essentially. As we're waiting for our drivers to finalize the setups, of course, they're going to go through their setups right now, make some final tweaks towards start temps, maybe some wing adjustments if they want to. And we're waiting. And do you think how many minutes we have for that restart? Do you think a minute or two?
I think there's a minute countdown that's mandatory for everyone to keep
Okay.
this get their strategies up and running. Yeah, let's just say we're going to be at least 30 seconds off from now, but we'll be able to see once the timer starts. So it's going
Yeah.
to be a quick
One
turnaround.
important question.
Yeah.
Are we going to have formation laps? Because we stopped that
Yes.
a while back for 2020.
Yes. Good question from you. Yeah, we're going to have formation lab. It's going to be a full formation lab with manual grid setup of formation into the grid box. So yeah, interested to see
Okay,
who will
that's going to be
point their
interesting.
nose to which guy because we know going into Melbourne you need to get as
Yeah.
many meters ahead as possible, and don't don't be surprised if you see two drivers pointing towards each other and having a collision just 20 meters ahead after the grid box. So anything can happen.
Yeah, that was so interesting. I love that feature of the manual formation laps. Unfortunately, because of a lot of bugs, last season we couldn't keep it. But I want to see what happens this season. I think we'll have so many fiery starts just because of that feature alone, and I think it's going to be enjoyable to watch.
Yep.
And as you, yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Disney. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we saw a couple of retirements, and I think the formation lap is just about to start. Did see a couple of retirements. I think some drivers did retire on track, and some drivers actually DNF'd on the track. So yeah, interesting to see how many finishes. What's your opinion on DNFs? Do you think all 20 drivers will start? As we are interested to see, we have a full grid for Tier 1, which is quite
yeah.
rare given the last couple of seasons have gone by.
Definitely, I think a lot of people have some enthusiasm with this game. A lot of people have come back in this game because of how they've heard that they've fixed some of the issues that we were highlighting in the last game itself, and definitely they're more interested right now. And you can see this is all part of the fun right now. It's a full grid, which means a lot more action, which means of course there'll be some action at the start as well. We'll just see how many people survive by the end of it. I hope most of them do because like I said, it's more about the long run here. We want to see a lot of these drivers race over and over and over, and we see some of these tires now. Let's just go over these tires. Looks like Helium has opted in for the hard tires, so he's definitely going for the alternate strategy here, I guess. And the rest of the grid, almost all of them, are stacked up on mediums, followed by Lean Sniper in softs because of, I guess, that five grid spot penalty. He just decided to go for an aggressive strat at the first stint and go for those moves right from the start itself. We have Catty and Sai Tarun as well on those hard. So I think that's going to be very interesting. I think, especially with Moto thinking he's on mediums right now, he has to now pull up that gap. If Helium can still stay close enough, and he just has to stay close enough to Moto, and I think that P1 will be his by the end of the race because he'll have the better tires by the end of it.
Yep, just setting the stream up for the beautiful action, folks. And yeah, if you're in the comments, if you are actively watching the stream, please do give us your predictions for the top three. I know this is a new season, a lot of new faces, but of course, currently the top three is all your old drivers. There's some banter going around here, but yeah, do give us your predictions, and we're going to go lights out in let's say 40 seconds.
Right, yeah, definitely. Definitely waiting for that moment essentially. And I think we've starved ourselves of lights out for a while right now. Again, off season. And I think at this stage I'm just waiting for some action to pop in. And Tier 1 is the place where you want to be for that level of action as we're slowly seeing these drivers come around the final corner, line up for their grid stop. Look at that scenic view. Look at that beautiful camera angle. That is perfect. As we're waiting for the fire lights to start this Grand Prix again, the drivers are ready. The tires are hot and warm. They're all ready to get it going as we get the final indication for the 5 lights. As we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's lights out, and away we go. Yep, definitely there was some bug with the game there, but we are lights out as we see again Helium getting a very off start. No more Propy in P2. SSJ Assassin definitely trying to take that P3, but struggles towards turn one. And we see someone dropping far back. There's a lot of action in the middle. As we see Motomoto take the charge in P1, that start could not have been more perfect for Motomoto. As we see no more pro player doing the work and getting P2 from. We have yellow flags as well. Is there any collision? I don't see something yet. Maybe someone had a mistake at some point. But essentially, as I was speaking, Helium is definitely going to be frustrated a little by the start. But again, that's what we expect when you're Hearts. The start will not be perfect, and it's all about defending right now. He has to survive there, as we see SSJ definitely eyeing for a move, seeing if he's got anything available on the inside of the next corner. Nope. Helium's still too far ahead. Will he use his ERS to get through now? He's definitely using his burning. His burning is on the inside. Helium is on the outside. He's going to outbreak him. And he does as SSJ moves past into P3. Keeps the car within the bounds. Gets the position done. That's racing for you folks. Definitely a good start to this race. Very interesting how Helium comes back from this. He's already a few seconds behind Motomoto as Motomoto is getting clean air. And as we see someone else trying to take over the Williams, and it is Destroyer Drac who's gotten back P4. And Helium is just losing positions left, right, and center. Definitely not the best tire to start on right now, as we see the Hearts struggling to get temperature in them, to get that grip in them, grip that those medium tires are now offering. As I say that, I wonder where Lean Sipper might be, and he is very far back. He must have had some issues. He's pitting, and he's gone on to those hards right now. I think that's a rough start for Lean Sipper, as we'll see him come back later in the race if there's another potential safety car. I think there must have been some contact between drivers there, as we see a lot of people lose position, especially extreme 11 positions lost. That is insane. As we see Red going for a move on Helium as well. Helium definitely struggling on those tires. It's not looking good for the driver, as he was one of the fastest on track in qualifying, but losing out to strategy right now. I wonder what will play against him this next stint. He'll have to recover a lot of time, a lot of positions in the next stint as well. As we see, the track is definitely very close to each other, and the Mercedes definitely eyeing for a move and destroy a track, and so is everyone else ahead of him. I think Dan is definitely in danger here, as we slowly see DRS being activated right now. And again, Motomoto 121 definitely pushing right now. There's no chance he's not pushing at this stage, and we see Red almost lose his car, loses rear end, and has to recover from it. As we see Helium definitely eyeing for a move on the outside, but has to give up on it. That move is just not there yet. But again, patience is the key in Formula One, and that's what Helium will have to look out for. He'll have to be patient. He'll have to wait for someone to make another mistake like that, and then go for that move, essentially. Oh, that's so close! And that was very close for Helium. He almost lost it on the curves. Again, the curbs here are insane. You have to be very careful. You can't bottom out your car on those curves. As soon as you do, you'll lose your car just like that. And Helium well caught there, and didn't even lose a position. I have to say that was pretty surprising. And I think his nerves are on right now. He's definitely. I think if I was in that stage, I'd be a little nervous. I'll like back down a little bit more, and I think that Helium's just gonna calm down a little for a few laps, try to get his pace back, and try to get back in the groove. And we see Extreme completely turned around and without a front wing. He's definitely had contact with the wall at least, and that's his race there. I don't think it's ended, but it's gonna be hard. As we see Destroyer Attack with the fastest lap. I think DRS is definitely helping. Your 120 for Destroyer Attack is definitely pushing. And if I'm not wrong, he's got P3 there, which is interesting. Destroyer Attack getting P3 from SSD Assassin. He's definitely pushing it. And he's showing everyone in IRC that he's got the pace to challenge for the podium. As we see Catty going for the move on the Alpine of Dark Knight, but Darky's still fighting over it. Again, Catty definitely showing more pace with those hards compared to everyone in front of him. He has some contact with the rear of the Alpine, but Darky manages to stay ahead. by an inch at this stage.
Yep, thanks again, Thap. That was really relentless commentary from you. But yeah, it's I think really important to note that the hards of Ethereum are not working right now. Maybe the hard medium strategy that was there from last game does not work in this game. We will only find out when we are gonna be going through the later phases of this race. But yeah, it doesn't look like Helium is basically him from last season. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that strategy pans out. But yeah, I am really impressed with Drak and his race pace right now, keeping no more pro player in the vicinity of DRS. And yeah, let's just say this is going to be really important to see if Drak can clear no more pro player and make a headroom uh, into Moto. As we see, there is a change of position between Simply and Dark Knight. There's supposed to be some there has to be some kind of collision there, but Simply trying to make a move on Akash Sonawane, keeps it, stays behind for now, has a very bad exit of return to, and that's gonna be a move for a later lap. Let's see, look at the grid, and I think this really close fight between Simply goes wide. It's gonna cause a real chain reaction between the Alpine and the McLaren, as we see Ritesh getting a 3-second penalty. Oh, that's too wide going into the fast right-hander. It's going to be really close battle as we go on. Both the Williams drivers. Sir Tanish retired in qualifying due to the weird incident between him and Leansipper, and he's trying to make headroom into the top 10, but looks like he's being stuck, and it's been 5 laps and he hasn't made much inroads. So it's going to be really important as we go too wide into the fast left-right chicane. The Alpine makes a move, Simply tries to do a cutback line. Tanish trying to make a move, and it's going to be nearly too wide going into the sharp 90-degree corner. It's really important.
It's almost.
Yep.
It's almost 4 wide there. We almost had 4 cars going for moves there, and it's all there for the taking for Tanish as he gets 2 positions in the span of a few corners, and now he's eyeing for his 3rd position. It's Dark Knight right ahead of him. The Alpine definitely struggling for a grip. You can see it, and Tanish eyeing for a move. He's got DRS activated. He's gonna go for it on the inside, on the outside, in the inside it is. And there's side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel as he clears the Alpine without any issue. And again, there's some contact between the Alpine. And the Alpine definitely loses out on the exit of turn 2. And Simply gets that position made. But will he have enough pace to get the Williams? Not yet. Surprisingly, the Williams had DRS. I wonder who's ahead of the Williams right now. Yeah, I think that was because of turn 1's DRS zone. That definitely activates 2 DRS zones ahead. So that saved Tanish there, because Simply was definitely looking to pass Tanish as well if he didn't have DRS. And Simply again in the McLaren in the mid, I would say the lower midfield is definitely giving us some action right now as we see the Red Bull of King James fighting against Darky as he's going around the outside of those corners. That's going to be difficult for them both to make it, and as we see Darky just had to concede to get that position, and he now has DRS following. Oh, there's some issue with Tanish. He loses his car on the corner of turns 11 and 12 and has to now concede with getting P16 and fighting against Sai Tarun. So we definitely see some rust here on Tanish's, and he's got pace, he's got the moves, but definitely some rust, and that's something he's going to have to fix moving down in the season. It's definitely not a good race for these Williams boys here, to be honest. A lot riding on this race, a lot riding on the championship. We'll see how they cope up with it. As we see Faizan eyeing for move against the Ferrari, and we are seeing Dante Adams going against Extreme, and these two drivers just hadn't had the luck today. As we see Extreme definitely very slow today. He's definitely not the Extreme back of season 10 at least. As we see 3-second time penalty for Faizan, I assume for going off track. And Tanish, as we speak, there's a lot of people getting penalties, a lot of spins as well, a lot of chaos. Surprisingly though, I will say this, it's a virtual safety car out there right now. That means everything is neutralized for the time being. There's not officially a safety car yet, but there is a virtual one. I think someone must have lost a wing or something.
Yeah, I think it was Dante Adams spinning at the last quarter and getting out the virtual safety car, but we missed it. Again, so much battle happening throughout the field. We missed an overtake by Drak on Pro Player, and
oh wow,
yeah, this looks like the fight is on for P1 if Drak can keep his pace up, but Moto is well clear of these two. As we say that Drak has made a big mistake. Will that make a difference? Yes, Propi tried to get a very good exit. He does not, and there's a Mercedes. I'm sorry for that. The Mercedes of Red tried to make inroads due to the mistake, tried to capitalize as they nearly contact. And Propi goes wide, doesn't get a good exit. He spins! He spins! And I think he does lose a lot of positions, but let's just keep the battle going. And that's Helium making 2 positions from there, and SSJ has just got both of them. Wow, what a chain of events there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Propi spinning definitely put the Mercedes in a very rough position where they had to wait it and ended up losing 2 positions because of that. That's gonna cost the Mercedes a lot, and I think he's definitely now a bit more hungrier for those 2 positions. He wants that position back because it's his, and he wants to own it. As we see Helium back in the groove, going for a move all around the inside of the next corner, gets a move done before the corner is even there, and SSJ has to give up that position. He doesn't have the straight line speed to compete at this stage against Helium at this stage, and Helium now on the charge, getting back into the groove and in the fight for P2, and this is gonna be terrifying news for Drac, as he's now going to have to deal with Helium, one of the fastest drivers in IRC, on his tail, and that's gonna be one hell of a challenge. As we see Sai Tarun, Simply, and Tanish in another fight. I feel like we've seen this before. We're seeing it again now, as we see the Ferrari definitely eyeing for a move, waiting for a mistake. That's all it takes, and he sees a mistake by Simply, and there's contact between the drivers. It's getting too dirty. I would say dirty, but messy here. It's elbows out for these two drivers, and definitely everything is off, well, off the table at this stage. Oh, as we see another contact, there are too many contacts. As we see Red trying to go for a move on the outside, but SSJ forcing him. Oh, there's a mistake by Red there. Almost loses his car, but saves it at the end.
That was close,
Keeping
mate.
his
That was
position.
close. That was really close.
Yeah, good thing those overalls are black because he might have shat his pants there. As we see Destroy again, that's the pace Helium is known for, and now it's on for P1. This is it. This is Moto Moto versus Helium. Plus Moto Moto has 6 seconds. I didn't even see that coming.
My God, I just noticed that. Yeah, this is really unfortunate for Moto. He needs to, first of all, finish ahead of these guys and create a gap of 6 seconds. That's going to be really important. If a safety car comes out, that's curtains for his race win there. Currently has 5 seconds. It's really good. But Helium has literally been left off the shackles, and now it's for him to use his, let's say, relatively less worn hard tires. And yeah, that looks like the strategy might pay off. But again, we never know until the lap 29 is over.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we definitely want to see more action, and I think Helium's definitely giving us a promise on that one here. As we see Helium on the charge, on the move, he is relentless in his pursuit of Moto Moto. As we see that gap of 5 seconds going down to 4.7, 4.8, he's definitely pushing. As Stanish gets another 3-second penalty, everyone is
Safety
definitely
car,
facing a lot.
safety car, safety car.
Oh, that's the Haas of Lean Sipper. That's it. And whoa, that was close for Mohan, as he almost had contact with the pit wall. Is Moto Moto gonna pit? I think this is not the time to pit, but
It changes
I'm
everything,
not sure.
folks. It changes everything. As I said,
Let's go.
if I don't know what Dante Adams is thinking that he's doing. You cannot overtake your lapped cars as well. But yeah, what will Moto do? That's a very
Yeah,
important.
that's
I mean,
yeah.
logically you would think that he'll put on the hard tires till the end, but will the softs make
Uh,
it? 19 laps. It's gonna be interesting. A safety car could have come not at the worst point for the medium tire runners.
yeah, he's definitely
Um,
going in. Now let's see
if
what
you
the
look at the
tires are.
tires, yep, let's see what he will fit as he nearly bins it, going into the pits. He nearly bins it. He does not
My
get a
God,
penalty. So
Hards,
fortunate for him. That
Hards,
looks like
yeah.
Hearts. Yes, it is. Helium, on the other hand, has another dilemma to go through. Can the mediums go till the end? Because
Mm,
Hearts will definitely go.
oh my God, this is interesting now, boys. It's an Uno
Propi
reverse
did
at this
not pit.
stage.
Sorry, but Propi did not pit. What is this ultra chat strategy from Mr. Pro Player there? But yeah, I think that's a very bad mistake from him, because you cannot make up the pit during green flag conditions here, because the pits is quite slow. So yeah, this might be this probably gonna be the wrong strategy by my experience.
Am I blind, or is that Ferrari blue?
No, it's not. The Ferrari is not blue. let's just confirm. No, it's definitely not blue. But yeah, everyone has pitted except pro player. Um,
No, that was my joke of Alpine definitely pulling up some Ferrari strategy calls.
yeah, see the news of Hamilton going to Ferrari already has changed my opinions of Ferrari,
Yeah.
so you cannot judge. So yeah,
You finally find some hope there.
yes,
But yeah, let's see what Propi has in mind. He's probably the only driver who hasn't pitted yet, and
that's a very
that's
bold call, my friend.
definitely
Very bold call.
he's definitely hoping for another safety car. He's hoping a safety car restart will cause another safety car. We'll see if that plays out, but it could happen. This could be the move of the century. We never know. But still, I don't think so. I mean, come on. By the time he pits, he'll be behind everyone. It's everything will be so closely bunched up at this stage.
Oh my God, that's
I'm not sure.
some bad
Yeah.
internet connection somewhere, but it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Dante Adams, last car on the lead lap, is quite far away. It's gonna be taking at least one more lap for him to catch up, and then we'll be good to go for green flag.
Well, yeah. Well, then let's talk about the strategy call, the important call between Helium and Moto as Helium goes on to those mediums and Moto goes on to those hards. Do you think it's gonna pay off for Helium at the end? I think it's not because we saw those mediums sort of die at the end. Helium was
Um,
very quick on those hards by the end of it.
yeah, this race is definitely in the balance because again, how quickly can those two dispatch pro player? Because that'll be the important factor. If remember, Moto has 6 seconds, so he has to stay ahead
Oh yeah.
and add 6 seconds between him and the next car that is finishing behind him. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna pan out for Helium that well because Helium, again, after 10 laps, the tires do get really worn out, more than 25 to 30%. So that's gonna be, as we know, the tire wear has been changed or tweaked this season, and it drops in cliffs. Let's say for 5, 10, or 20. I don't know exact number, but it doesn't drop gradually. It drops in cliffs. So once you hit the number,
Mm-hmm.
the tires just simply decides to no, I'm not going to give you the grip that you were looking for, and yeah, that's trouble for you. So yeah,
Bono, my tires are gone.
yeah, definitely. We might see that in red next season, but yeah, subtle jabs at Ferrari. But yeah, let's see how this pans out. Still waiting for the last two drivers to catch up to the grid. And yeah, it's been a really action-packed Grand Prix, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it has. I mean, I at some points lost my breath, but it was awesome. That's just the way the cars. Definitely, there's action in terms of overtakes, but action also in terms of mistakes by these drivers. I mean, there's so many close calls, but I have to say, half of those close calls are well held by the drivers up in front. I mean, we saw Propi spinning out, but he didn't lose his wing or his car at all. We saw Merck almost planting it in the wall. And this is not an easy circuit because the walls are very close, so you can eventually, break your car, as we saw some people doing. But that was well held by these drivers. I think definitely shows the peak performance of Tier 1. You can expect the best, and you will see the best.
To pile on some bad news on Moto. Of course, he has 6 seconds. There is going to be another lap behind the safety car, so that's another lap Helium doesn't have to do on his medium tires.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
this is gonna be. I think it's gonna be close, but
12
what
laps.
what part will pro player have in all this battle that we may see in the next couple of laps? But yeah, it's gonna be very important if Moto has to get a dispatch pro player as quickly as he can. But we know it's not going to
Oh,
be as there is a bit of contact. Will that give
yeah.
5 seconds to anyone? Don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He locked up his tires a little over there as well. I hope the tires are not strained by it. But yeah, I mean, it has to. It's all a make and break in the last 4 laps. The pace of Helium determined in those last 4 laps is what makes it for Moto. If the mediums give up in those last 4 laps, I think Moto has a chance to win it. It's a very small chance. It's going to be very marginal, but there is still a chance. And that safety car definitely changed the game. Yeah, and that's what happens in Formula One. Sometimes you love the sport, but the sport doesn't love you back. And I think this is just an unlucky safety car for Helium. We'll see how it pans out, though.
Yep. First very important for these guys as the safety car does come in the lap. So come at the end of this lap. So yeah. I was just waiting to see if the Haas will actually catch up, but it looks like he will. Let's see what happens now. I'm gonna go on board P3. Just gives us the best
Yeah,
viewpoint of how
yeah,
the restart procedure is from the leader. No more pro player.
definitely.
I'm sure that this is still a bit of a new procedure for him, given that he has not found himself much in these scenarios. But yeah, normally he's very, very calm, collected, try to figure out which time he has to go in the lead. But yeah, it looks like he's trying to keep close to the safety car. I would suggest not do that, my friend. You're going to get a throttle cut,
Oof.
and it looks like there is throttle cut. Um, yeah, again, as I said, experience behind
Oh.
safety car restarts, that's one thing you have to have a look at. Looks like he's decided to still keep it close, still not leaving, still
Hmm.
weaving. And yeah, why don't you take it away?
Of course, we're ready for Pro P to start it, and I was waiting for his throttle input to be there. And where is it? Where does he decide to go? Is he gone? Is he gone? He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. And Helium definitely getting a struggle with that start, and but all over the back of Motomoto as he's waiting for his move. He's very close. All the cars are definitely close. Motomoto gets another three
Oh my
seconds.
god!
SST gets 3 seconds. It's 9 seconds for Motomoto. It's becoming worse. It's become worse and worse at this stage as he's still behind No More Pro P, who's got 3 seconds as well. Helium now knows he has to just keep those tires alive by the end of it just to win this. 9 seconds is too far, and we see contact between the Aston Martin and the McLaren. Almost there, contact between Sai Tarun and SimplyYT. And SimplyYT has contact with Catty, and he's off. Catty's off there. Definitely some contact there. A lot of chaos, a lot of action. Too much to focus on at this stage. As we see Noma Propli and Motomoto fighting for it. Motomoto on the outside. Will he keep the corner? He does keep the corner and gets his car ahead. As we see Helium getting a better exit. He's going to make it work on the grass. Two wheels on the grass, and he gets the move done before the corner. Definitely eyeing for that P1. No more staying behind any driver any further for Helium. He wants a P1, and he's gonna get it on track. As we see,
Oh!
oh, there's contact, there's destroy track. It's been gone. I assume he has some form of damage on his front wing there, and probably a penalty to look forward to. I'm not sure at this stage, but Pro Piece, it's gone from best to worse. The tires have no more grip. Everything's falling off, and that's it. That's curtains for the Alpine for the time being.
Yep.
Oof, lock up.
Yeah, that's the risk you take when you are on older tires compared to fresh rubber, and there's definitely going to be everyone trying to take the opportunistic move and make the opportunistic move and put yourself, a little bit more aggression than normally when you're on equal tires. So, yeah, Propi on the receiving end, he's going to lose another position to the Ferrari there, unless he keeps his nose ahead. He does. So, yeah, as we see,
Oh, there's
red,
someone off.
yeah, red, just cutting some grass there. Or
Yeah,
shall I say going to the beach?
yeah, definitely. He wants that action, some of the beach gravel action. As we see again, Propi just backing everyone off. It's a Leclerc situation in 2022, Silverstone, as he backs off everyone into everyone else, and it's chaos behind that Alpine, behind Propi. As we see the Williams getting ready for a move. Sai Tarun, Sir Taresh going against Sai Tarun. Ritesh defending against the might of the Williams, as the Williams have made a comeback into the points. Oh, that's very close between them as we see Ritesh going for a move around Propi, and I think Propi is going to lose another position as we see the Williams going off. I don't think he's got the straight line speed though, as we see Propi fight for it, get the position back in the next turn, but shoots it quite wide, leaving Ritesh to get that position back from him, as Ritesh definitely pushes, but the Alpine is still there somehow. The Alpine is still somehow fighting. I think this is insane as we see this contact between the drivers, and that has caused another list of mayhem there. As we see, who's that? Daki go off. The Alpine against the Alpine at this stage. It's not working off for the Alpines at all. Wow, that was something else there. I think
Yeah, yeah.
I think Propi is definitely doing his best to keep his position. He's defending as much as he can, but I think he has to concede right now, and he has to pit at some point, just to keep his car safe for others to overtake at this stage. Because it's not safe to overtake Propi, because he's definitely fighting and he's not gonna give it up easy. And we see Akash Sonwani getting an easy move, but he goes off the track and loses that position entirely. as Extreme gets their position back. Again, it's all about
Oh
your
my
breaking
god.
points.
Oh, Propi has made a huge error
Uh,
there, and he still tried to keep his the rears from leaving. I don't know what is going on with him. 17 laps on those set of tires. It should not work as another McLaren goes through of Simply, and I don't know what's going on with Propi. He's trying to go for the medium softs, I think. But yeah, my friend, you're losing more time than you're gaining. I simply gets a 3 second.
yeah, I think that's definitely not the one strategy he was hoping for, but has to compete with it now. And again, he's just stuck in that strategy of going for the softs. But I think those softs are going to be put on too late. He's going to be way too far back to make any moves any further on the field, and that's the points gone for that Alpine driver there. Uh, as we see Archit definitely eyeing for a move on the Alpine in that Mercedes in that second seat, as we see Extreme going around the inside of these corners, got DRS activated, and we see Extreme get that position, but Akash Anwani still has DRS. He's gonna fight for it. There's some contact between the walls, and Akash definitely is very close, still close, and that's very close between Extreme and Akash Sonwani, as we almost saw Extreme push Akash into the wall itself, but Akash gets that position and flies away as Extreme makes a mistake around these corners. And we're saying definitely a lot of people are, well, let's say, breaking a little too late for these corners, and I think that's what's getting them the warnings and the 3 second penalties as well. And same time, it's just costing them positions. Braking is important here, folks. You can't make a mistake with braking because there's no runoff.
Safety car again, my friend.
Oh
Oh
my
my god, that's a
god!
very late decision to not pit there from Red. And I think, yep, the last corner has taken one more. Another wing donated, and
Um, so,
yeah,
Propi,
no, it does not.
Propi pro
No,
strategy.
no, it did not work out because everyone's going to pit for softs now. So, yep, he has lost all the time and all the places. But yeah, I guess interesting to see what these two do. Again, softs definitely are the faster now. 9 laps, you can get it, you can
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it work. But will one of
Helium,
these
yeah,
guys do?
Helium has nothing to lose. He can definitely go for softs and now he can make it work.
Moto
Helium
as well.
has to pit. That's a no-brainer.
Moto as well, don't you think? Because given that he has 9 seconds
Yeah,
worth of
yeah, sure.
penalties,
He has to pit now.
yeah.
The 9 seconds is what's killing him at this stage.
Yeah,
I think everyone's gonna pit.
I think everyone's
It's
gonna pit as well.
simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless there's gonna be very close battle. And as I say that, Moto decides to not do it
Oh
and
my
keep
god.
his. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Drag
Propi,
pits.
yeah. I
Faizan
think
doesn't pit.
I think he didn't see what happened to Propi. That's why he decided not to pit.
Faizan pits. That does not pit. King James pits. Tanish pits. Ritesh pits. I think it's gonna be a Akash Sonawane pits. Simply pits. I think everyone is
Where
pitting.
is Helium gonna come out?
Helium is gonna come out. Where's that? I'm just really confused. Helium shows
Where is the
P8. I don't know what happened with
P18?
Helium.
What?
No, I think there's some error. There's some issue. Helium should be P4 or P3.
Wait, is he on the mediums?
He is on the
He's opted for the
mediums.
mediums.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I think there is some issue with the telemetry from the tower folks that the game provides. So Helium currently is, let's say, P4, P3,
I know. I think he's P3. Yeah.
P3
He's P3. Yeah, P3.
behind Faizan, and he's back.
Faizan. Yeah.
And he's back.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
interesting. The game is still there, folks.
Fastest lap right
But
now
yeah,
is a
still.
19.9. So yeah, let's see who can get the fastest lap whistle, given that everyone has put on soft tires.
Jeez, I mean, it's gonna be another layer of chaos now because everyone's gonna be jam-packed on this softs. And trust me when I say this, everyone's gonna go for moves. There's no one that's gonna say idly by, calm down, nothing like that. No one's gonna save tires anymore. It's 9 laps to the finish. And can I ask, like, did you see what happened? Why did the safety car come out?
Yeah, the last corner, I think it was Mohan, and both the Haas drivers, I think, have done the same thing. Is both of them lost it at the end of the lap, and last lap, I think he just had probably a traction loss, and into the wall he goes, into the pit wall. So
Oh, I
that
see.
brings out the safety car, second of the race. I think there's a max of 3 or 4 that is allowed in by the game. So, yep, still more chaos to follow, but looks like it's all to play for at the top because Faizan has found himself in P2, and we all know that man will never yield unless he has been made to. So, Helium will have definitely a lot of lot of trouble and lot of headbanging to do, because I think to get past Faizan in this race, in this stakes, is going to be really difficult. But I think he can do it. But yeah, how much is he willing to risk at this stage of the race, stage of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you on that. Faizan in that P2 is the only thing that I'd be worried about if I was Helium right now. Not Moto ahead, just Faizan at this stage. He's definitely opted in for that strategy, the same strategy that Moto has gone in for. And to be honest, I'm not sure how he's going to compete against the mediums. We did see the mediums being very strong in the first 4 or 5 laps, at least at the start of the race. The first 4 or 5 laps is the prime time when those mediums kick in. I think the hards are definitely better in the later stages, but these are worn hards, and it's been 9 laps since those hards tires are on. So,
It's
is this the
definitely
right
going to.
decision? I'm not
It's
sure.
definitely going to make till the end. There's no doubt that the hard tires can make it to the end. The only concern will be, will there be enough tire left for the hards to not have that much lower lap time compared to the new mediums? So I'm pretty sure King James will be licking his lips, because P5 soft tires, can he get past those two cars ahead? And that's the only concern for him, because I think once he gets past the medium tires and makes a meal of the hard tires, can he keep the grip of the tires, and that's going to be an important thing. But yeah, I think currently Helium is in the box seat to win this race.
Could be. I think the Helium definitely got that chance back again. He's pushed and pushed from his chaotic start, and he's now in that position where I think he's getting ready
What?
to safety car in this lap.
That
Okay,
was very
interesting.
late.
What?
Very late.
Okay, this is not helping Moto's case at this stage,
Also, poor
but
Dante
that's it.
Adams. He's gonna lose. He's not gonna never gonna be catch up to the pack now.
And that's it gone. It's gone. Moto's gone ahead. Helium's got a rough start, but he's gonna catch up towards it by the end of it. As Faizan is just 4 tenths behind Helium. Behind Moto. And Moto definitely a good start for him. A good safety car restart he got, and keeps his position as well as keeps Faizan right between him and Helium. That's exactly where he wants to keep Faizan. And if I'm Moto, I'd just want to push it towards the limit now, as I want to create a 9-second gap. It's a very big ask, but that's the ask right now. That's the only criteria to win at this stage. As Helium definitely on the gearbox of Faizan, waiting for the moment Faizan makes a mistake. He knows those tires, he knows, and we see it as Helium definitely gets around Faizan without any issue, without DRS, just flies through. No biggie, no issue at all.
Oh, it's a very, very bad exit from Faizan. He loses position to the Alfa Romeo driver as well. And Faizan tries to keep it around the outside. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. And
No, he
that's
can't.
that's another position for Drac, who is, don't forget, the same strategy as Helium. Does he have the same pace though? That's what we have to find out.
Well, we'll see. It's a big ask from Drac on his well, I'm not sure if it's their debut, but there's a lot of contact there with Assassin as he finds himself on the rear boxes of 2 Red Bulls, and now he's got another car fighting him. It's Tanish coming back in P7. Somehow the Williams are giving a comeback as we see. I'm not sure which driver that was, but there's contact between who was it? Between the Aston
Faizan.
Martin and
Oh, wings are
Faizan, of
flying.
course. That's the Ferrari definitely losing some front wing. There's so much contact there. Ritesh definitely losing out on that exchange. And Tanish in P5. Wow, that was something else. As we see Akash Sonawani getting that position from Ritesh. Ritesh losing a lot of downforce from that contact with the Aston Martin. And wow, I can't believe Tanish made it up to P5. He's right behind King James. And he's now in. The points are in for a lot of them at least. But he has to keep that 6 seconds up. A gap of his 6 seconds. That's going to be a tall order. But if someone can pull it off, it's Tanish. As we see Daki going for a legendary move with no space,
Oh my
and he
God.
almost crashes with the Ferrari. That was so risky there for Daki, and Catty's right behind him. Is too much action going on as we see someone, the Mercedes going for a move on simply defends, and he has almost made contact with his own teammate Red, almost losing out on position. As we see Nomo Pro P trying to go for a move on Red now, and Red still manages to keep that position somehow. It's getting a lot more chaotic, a lot more crazy, and everyone's eyeing for any position, any mistake
I
made by
think
anyone.
there may be another
Sorry.
safety car out because I see someone retired on track, Stanley Adams, and no, I don't think so.
No, no, not. Luckily, it's not come up yet, but yeah, I don't think we can handle more than two safety cars in one race at this stage. And we see Catty again fighting with SimplyYT. Again, I'm almost losing track of the drivers at this stage. There's so much action going on. Again, we see Catty and Darky still very close to each other. Catty is partially struggling with this strategy though, and we see contact between Moto and Helium as Helium charges through, again getting the move done at the same part of the track against basically Faizan, and Moto now has to. Oh, that's heavy contact
don't know
for
what.
track as he gets into the
Oh my God, that
wall.
was a very huge contact.
I think Moto tried to defend that too hard,
It's too
and
late. Probably that was too
yeah.
late for him. Again, reports will be made. I don't want to pass a judgment on live stream, but yeah, that's very unfortunate for Draco. Was showing really good pace there. Maybe should have gotten P2 on this race given his pace and consistency. But yeah, my friend, another day he might definitely would have made it through those incidents. But yeah, Moto, 9 seconds. Yeah, probably it's gonna be a difficult race for him to keep the podium there.
Yeah, and probably not one of his best as the amount of exchange he's had with the drivers today. I think he's definitely wants to finish this as quickly as possible, and just forget about this race at this stage because that's just not a good race for Moto. We've seen the pace he has, but he's just been burdened with penalties and contacts throughout this game, and I think that's curtains for at least P1 at this stage as Helium definitely charges through. Moto is still close enough to get in DRS, but I don't think he'll be able to do much at this stage of the race. As we see Tanish eyeing for a move again, King James. Surprisingly, I didn't notice, but King James is in P3 right now.
Yep.
And it's
Soft
all
tires,
there.
remember? Soft tires.
Yeah, definitely. I think I see your play here, and these soft tires are definitely paying off for Tanish and King James. But I wonder how much of those soft tires are left at this stage. I think they'll have to back out at some point. But I think P3 is definitely on for Tanish here. He's definitely shown pace. But
Yep.
King James has that benefit of not having penalties. And I'm forgetting about the fact that King James was about to make a move on Moto, who's got 9 seconds. Moto
my
is still making
God.
contact. What the hell is happening there? As there's some plays there by Moto. I'm not sure if I should make a comment on that, but that was not great racing. Can you take over for a second?
Yeah, sure. I think we'll just keep the battle going. Moto try to keep his nose, pushes Tanish off the track. That gives him an instant 3 second because of the glitch. But Moto try to get his nose ahead, but I don't think that's going to work there, folks. You have to keep yourself ready for the DRS zone. Moto definitely with the DRS is going to burn all his ERS. Where is Moto? He's still trying to stick behind. Now the DRS is wide open. King James doesn't have the DRS, but here comes Moto. Around the outside, will Tanish be able to keep his place? Yes, he can, but again, we're going to have another DRS zone, and Moto looks to be really close here. Can he get his nose in before the corner? Yes, he can. There's minor contact in the braking zone. Moto tried to go around the outside, gets the better exit somehow. Might be a little bit of net code there, but I think keeps in no skin. That's very hard racing, but that was.
Moto loses it. Moto loses it on the corner, so does Tanish. And both of them are losing grip at this stage, and it's showing here essentially the pressure of Formula One here. And we see Tanish eyeing for a move now. He's going to go on the inside outside. Where is he going to go? Moto does not give him enough space as he loses the position to King James. King James gets the position back, and Tanish almost spins. He's saving it, but by a hair. And he's lost a few positions in it. That's just heart-wrenching for Tanish as he was so close to a podium there, but it's all just fallen apart right now. Too much going on at this stage. I wonder if Moto has given up at this stage. It's getting very close between the limits there for defending. And I think there's going to be a lot more action in the IRC chat room after this race.
Definitely, it's going to be, as we see one of the overtakes being done by SSJ. It's going to push to the wall a bit, but I think the DRS and ERS will get him ahead, and he gets the move done quite fair and square. Simply also is going to make the move. And yes, that Simply also gets the move done on Catty, and everyone barring Akash, King James and Helium have pens. So yeah, it looks like those three are going to be our top three. But again, given that Moto has 9 seconds, it might drop him very, very far away. Tanish, meanwhile, has 12 seconds. Sai Tarun
Yeah.
has 15. So again, Moto will not get the award for the most penalties acquired this race.
Yeah, 10-second penalty to walk on, bro. But as we see Moto now, again another contact. We see his driver's waving his hand. I'm pretty sure there was another level of contact. I'm not sure what's happening here, but there seems to be something going on there. A lot of
Yeah,
aggression, a lot
very,
of
very late moves from Moto there. But again, we might need to visit the stewards office there for that. But yeah, Tanish and Red going side by side into turn 2, turn 3. I mean,
oh,
Tanish into the grass, being put in the grass. But yeah, his 12 seconds will not be effective right there. Try to get as much gap between yourself and the car behind. But yeah, looks like it's gonna be really, really close. 2 laps to go. The race has flown by. Unfortunately for Faizan, he got caught out by the SSG incident, and yeah, it looks like barring anything, he's going to be relishing in the end of this grid today.
yeah, and as we're speaking about the grid, 5 seconds of a difference between Helium and Moto. Helium is definitely flying out there. He's not got anything to lose right now. Surprisingly, King James right now is stuck behind Moto. I think Moto's strategy is just to keep King James behind for a lap or more, because he knows that by the end of this race, the softs are going to give up. And that's when he might keep P2 on track at this stage. I see P2 on track with course, of course, because he's going to lose a lot of positions by the end of this race, and maybe even some more after the stewards review their decisions, which will be another factor to play in. But right now we see King James, of course, hunting Moto. But I think even King James knows that. I think for King James, he knows he's not going to get P1 at this stage, so he has to just keep himself close to Moto. Doesn't have to go for any risky moves, and he'll have P2 on his hands. He just has to keep himself in DRS, so he doesn't have anyone else challenging him behind. As I say that, I see that. Sorry, SSJ Assassin is also very close to King James, but that's one benefit King James has is no penalties. So he just has to maintain a clean race towards the end, and he'll finish in P2 easily. As we see some action between Dark Knight and SimplyYT, as SimplyYT defends, takes the defensive line, has to give up a bit on his exit, but now gets DRS helping him. But the sheer pace of Dark Knight gets that move done. As they're still fighting through its will to wheel, as Simply maintains his position on the inside, but his Dark Knight just still got the grip, but they're still going to fight through the next 2 corners, as Simply has to concede and now is under attack, but Simply goes for it on the inside. There's a lot of contact there, but that's a move and a half there from SimplyYT, as Dark Knight loses 2 positions there from his own teammate and SimplyYT, and we see again Dark Knight losing another position by Arachit, going on the inside of the next corner. Again, Darky has to focus on his exit, as he can get the Mercedes if he keeps his car in the perfect position, but no, unfortunately the Mercedes is just a little bit too quick at this stage of the race, and Dark Knight will have to look for a move at some other part of the track. As we see Tanish trying to go for a move on Red. Red definitely. Oh, there's some contact there for Tanish. I'm not sure if that's not contact. That's just his car snapping. Yeah, wheel spin. Yeah, exactly. And we've seen a lot of that from Tanish. I think Tanish definitely struggling with this setup today, and I think I can say that same about that for a few other drivers today. But race, I think Tanish would like to take some good things out of it, and some of the bad things that he'll want to avoid later in the future. As we see Simply getting 3 more seconds, that puts him up to 12 seconds as well. I mean, looking at the grid, I feel like Archit is in a good position, because I think he might be promoted up to P5
Yes,
by the
just
looks of the
pause on that.
penalties.
Helium slows down, takes
Wow.
a bow for his beautiful drive and gets P1 in this race. King
Oh,
James
yeah, of
finishes
course.
P2 and it's Akash. So now 1A and P3 after all the penalties are applied. Oh my god, what a beautiful race by those 3 drivers, as we have more action going at the back. I think there was a photo finish. We might have missed it, but yeah, it's really, really close at the end. Let's go far down the order. I think most of the drivers have finished. Simply finishing just 1/10 behind. Probably the last 3 seconds penalty did not help him. But yeah, that's your race, folks. Extreme does what he does best. He goes fastest at 19.2, and Yeah, that's the end of the race, folks. How was the race for you? So sorry to cut you off there, Ajay, but yeah,
No, that's fine.
yeah, it's going to be really interesting race. Moto finishes P5 at the end.
To be honest, SD, I almost forgot that Helium was about to finish the race. There's a good thing you did cut me off because I forgot that the race was about to end. It was almost last lap. But yeah, that's definitely a very exciting race. A huge banker to start the first race of our season. And definitely there'll be more to come in the same way, the same format. A lot of chaos, a lot of good moves, a lot of good races to watch out for.
Yeah, just quickly capture the race directors of everyone, but could you just take us to the grid?
Yeah, of course, Helium in P1, King James in P2, in P3, Assassin in P4, Moto in P5, Archit in P6, Darknet in P7, P8, Nova Pro PE, P9, Red, P10 is Catty, SimplyYT in P11, Tanish in P12, as far as I saw, Extreme in P13, Faizan in P14, Ritesh in P15, followed by Sai Tarun, Destroyer Track, Dante Adams, Mohan, and Lean Sipper.
Yep,
That's
that's
the
a
grid.
yeah. Some initial thoughts on the race. Uh,
Initial thoughts, I think at the end there was a lot like the strategy wasn't guess it wasn't set in stone. There was a lot of strategy calls that everyone could have made. Because things did change a lot in the race. There was still 13 safety cars popping up weird times, and I think Helium navigated the strategy the best out of the move. And again, keeping no penalties on his record is also a clean race for Helium. The race was more about keeping your time, keeping your time rather than just being purely fast. If you're being fast, but you're 12 seconds, you're still going to lose out by the end of it, and that's what caused Moto and a lot of other drivers that failed.
yep.
So yeah, that's all. So
Yeah.
I guess it's still a banger race. It's still amazing to watch. A lot of chaos, a lot of moves, a lot of questionable moves as well. But again, that's something we'll leave to the stewards to pan out. But still, fun race throughout. It was more enjoyable to see, and definitely we're back in F1. We're back in F1 2023 at this stage, and we're definitely going to give more and more of the same action.
Yep. Let's quickly move on to the podium interviews after that in brilliant first race. Again, I think again, as you said, we went through all the emotions in this race. A lot of euphoria for drivers doing well, lot of chaos, lot of heartbreaks, and a
Yes,
lot of discussions to be had post race. So yeah, the night is
definitely.
young for the stewards, as I say, as being one of the stewards. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting week ahead. We'll definitely catch you up with all the verdicts and everything. You can, of course, join our Discord server. You can follow along with us and even race with us in this league if you are deemed quick enough for tier 1 or tier 2. So yeah, do join our Discord. Everything, all the links are provided in the description down below. And yeah, looking forward to seeing some new faces there.
Yeah, definitely. And if you think, it's too late that the season has started, it's never too late to join. You can still make it here. You can still race in this season. If you're quick enough, we'll definitely find some reserve seat for you available to push you through. So don't think it's too late. If you like what you see, definitely come here, join our Discord, have some fun, meet some people, have some Formula One discussions. We do a lot of stuff IRL and in the game as well. So it'll be fun.
Yep, I'm just waiting for the drivers to join the discussion room. Uh, this
Yeah, and I'll just recap on the weather. I think the weather was definitely still than the race itself. We definitely thought it was raining by the end of quali, but that rain never showed up. But I think that was part of the fun as well. Track was dry, but it was still challenging enough for our drivers to navigate through. And rain would have been better, but it's still a good race to work on. And I think definitely one that gives some thing to talk to in the next few races. As we're waiting for our drivers to pop in, I think some happy. Let me just
I think
check on that. Yeah,
yeah, just to
King
give you
James is
some
here. Yeah,
information, sorry. I think Akash Sonawala cannot join us, is having troubles with his microphone. So we
that's
have King
fine.
James here. I think if I'm not wrong, he finished P2.
Yep, yep.
Again,
He
my
definitely
memory is
finished
very,
me.
very, very hampered because of all the action that has gone through. There's a lot of thoughts going on right now in my head because it's been such a jam-packed, action-packed race. But you wanna take it over with the P2 guy?
Yeah, definitely. I'll take over. P2 King James. Well, King James, I'll say that I didn't notice you throughout. the first half of the race, but definitely it's the second half where you shine through. I think the last safety car, which brought the softs into play, is where you shine most because we definitely saw you pitting for those softs, and we just, I think SD was the one that pointed it out. He said, King James is on the softs, he's gonna make some moves, watch out for him, and that's exactly what you did. And he, to be honest, he had Moto on his heels throughout most of that last half as well. So yeah, just go through your recap of your race. How was it? How was your first stint? What did you opt in for, and what did you find struggling, through that first stint?
Hey guys, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had a really bad quali. I haven't played the game in a while, to be very honest. So, I pretty much like crashed in quali, so I had to start from the back on in 19th. But yeah, made my way through. Started off patiently on the mediums. Just going through the motions, I guess. Got myself up to like P90, sorry, P11 if I'm not wrong. And then yeah, I think found some pace on the softs as you mentioned, and yeah, I think I could have gotten Moto as well, couple of aggressive defending moves, I guess, but yeah, overall, a pretty good race, I think, from my side. But I think more than I think it was very, just passive aggressive, I guess, being aggressive wherever required, but yeah, mostly passive on my side. So yeah, overall, I think I was pretty consistent, so I think that was what made the difference.
Yeah, and I think you said it right. That consistency was the key, and one of the few drivers on the grid as well to avoid any penalties. 3 seconds. I mean, we saw the race. We saw how many people got those 12-second penalties.
Right.
So you having none of them definitely paid off at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think I had one warning, and then I was kind of in like conservative mode, but just to make sure that I don't get that second one. But yeah, pretty rare occasion. I sometimes do get a lot of penalties, to be honest, but I'm happy with that. Yeah.
That's great to hear. SD, you got any questions for King James?
Not really. I mean, as I said, maybe pointed out at the same time when he was on the first person on the soft tires, I mean, the first in the queue of the soft tire runners after the first safety car. So yeah, really kudos to you, King James, to keep your noses clean, even though there was some questionable driving on display from Moto and some other drivers. But yeah, congratulations, and hopefully you can continue and we can see you doing as well or even better next time around.
For sure. Thanks. Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations on P2.
Yep.
And SD,
Thank
you
you.
can take over for P1
Yep,
Helium with
yep. My
P1.
good
Huh?
friend, my good old friend, let's say my nemesis from a couple of seasons ago. Helium, how was the race for you? I mean, to be honest with you, how the race started, it looked like you had fallen off a lot since the last time we had you on stream on the last game, and maybe the hard tire choice was not great, maybe it was good. What are your thoughts of that?
Okay, so wasn't really supposed to go on the hards. It was a misclick, so wasn't prepared for that. And in the beginning of the race, I just figured I won't really fight anyone. So if anyone was trying to on the mediums or the ones who were trying to pass me, I just let them. Didn't really feel like because at that point I was like I didn't really had any standing there. And then I think after the first virtual safety car ended, that was a very small one. I think Propi and I don't know who it was. Maybe Destroyer Track. They got in an incident, and me and SSJ got through. So I think pretty much the whole race I was just trying to avoid incidents, and I got through without a scratch, which was pretty lucky. And then there was obviously incidents with Faizan and Moto. They kept bumping me on the straight. I don't really understood why. I mean, I understand why from one of those people, not from the second. You can figure out which one I'm talking about. But
Let's
yeah,
give that to the audience, our imagination.
yeah. So I'm not gonna name who
Yeah.
it was,
Anyway, carry on.
but
Yeah.
people can figure out. And it was not exactly something that I'm very happy about what happened in the very last stages of the race between the top few drivers and what happened with Destroyer Track. The guy was having a great race. Honestly, he was sticking with me pretty much the whole race, and don't think that's I didn't expect that from that person, but I guess that's for the stewards to decide. But on my part, the race wasn't exactly exciting. It was just me trying to avoid incidents, and I did. So
Yep. Just to bring you back to the point of drag, are you surprised with some drivers? Since of course there are a lot of new faces uh, on this
mm,
season, especially in Tier 1. People who have been moved up from the lower tiers, people who have joined us for the first time. Is
mhm.
any driver that surprised you a lot? Let's say a drag or anyone else. in your opinion?
Uh, Drag in a good way and Moto in a bad way, but yeah, nothing else.
All right. All right. Yep. Again, another question point of view. When the safety car came out and you didn't see Propi pit, what was your thought process on that? Do you think it was a good strategy? Would you have done the same given this exact scenarios would have happened up until that time in a different race, or do you think he did a very bad mistake there?
Last option.
All right. Okay. Fine. That's probably resonates with what we had been discussing in the combox as well, Hap. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Mhm.
didn't make sense honestly. I
yeah.
was
So
annoyed.
anyway, that's I mean happens. It's a really heat of the battle, heat of the moment. But yeah, I mean, really good race
Hmm.
from you, Helium. Again, consistency. That's what got you the championship last season. You have started the season with a very, let's say let's say not one hand on the trophy, but it's a really good start and gives you a good platform to build up for the next 11 races that's gonna come up over the next 11 weekends. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, there we go. Thank you. The podium finishes top two here
Thank
with
you.
us, and we are going to quickly move into the end of the stream.
Yep.
Just give me.
And so that's our race here almost. Well, almost the entire session done. Well, essentially, we still have 12 more races. Well, 11 more
11 more.
races to come, barring this one towards the end. We'll be here every single weekend at this stage. You can join us Saturday, Sunday. We have tier twos, tier ones, and I think tier three as well, if I'm not wrong.
No, we have a couple of tiers this season, given that this game has not given us that many turnout compared to what we had previous seasons. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I mean we have both the races on the same day. That is tier two on 2:30 p.m. That happened and already streamed today. Again, another really great race to watch. Please give it a watch if you can after you're done with the stream because this rain really did cause havoc in that race and really a lot of let's say funny moments, if I may say so. And a lot of good overtaking, clean battles there as well compared to what we had today. But compared to what we had tonight. So yeah, do join us next weekend, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. for Tier 2. Again, as I said before, if you want to take part in this league and you want to say have some casual fun night, fun events with us, um, do join a community. It's Indian racing community. You can find us on Google. You can find us on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram, and any other social links that provided in the description down below. Do give us a like and subscribe if you felt that this something that resonates with you. That some things that the racing and everything it does give you a good happiness from time to time. So yeah, do join us next weekend, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. We're going to having round two of season 11. Thank you. That's going to be the wrap of this stream from me and Haphazard King here. Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.
Bye.